It's starting now.
Build a feud
Hey,
where the
what is up, everybody? This is Steviebreech coming to you once again with the second highest rated of the Quarantine Chronicles
damn
with Justin and
Ra-
Mike.
Ravi beat you out, like slapped your retention rates.
Oh man, Ravi's a good guy. I do have some heat with Rapster. I'm glad you brought me back in for the update. One of my favorite questions you asked him, Mike, was who do you think got people to want to go to WrestleMania? Me or him? And I was surprised he said him. I'm not saying that my videos are better than his or anything else kind of like that, but all I know is that if it wasn't for me, Ravi wouldn't even have gone to 27. He'd probably still be
Ooh.
sitting on his couch right now.
Well, the
Uh,
Shoot.
turntables.
Behind the scenes, I can honestly say as like a YouTuber at the time, I really didn't know who Ravi was. I was only kind of talking
Damn.
to Ravi because people talk to Ravi.
Damn.
And
So you're saying you're better than him? That's what
no,
is what
not
I'm hearing.
not Ravi. Like Ravi is like the cool guy in school that talks to you, and you don't know why. Like I definitely do not know why. I don't know. Almost 10 years later, like me and Ravi are like friends. It does not make sense. I am like the class clown. Ravi is the coolest dude in school, and I think one thing that like summed it up for me. I think it's even in Ravi's video when we go to the Chicago Bulls store. When we went to go see the Jordan statue, and I'm the idiot wearing the Bulls mascot mask, and he looks at me and he says like, "This is why we bring him. Like, this is why he's here." And I was like, "Yep, I will take that."
I was watching a 28 today. I was bored, and I
Uh,
was like, you were like, Ravi, you're all over my channel, and you're like, yeah, hi, subscribe to my channel. Like Ravi, background of your video.
I did
uh,
that. I did that in Ravi's video in 31 because after the show, he was like, "Don't worry, don't worry. Like you're gonna come every year now." And then I turned to the camera. I'm just like, I just totally changed character. I'm like, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Like,
oh, Mike dropping the hints.
yeah, because
Mike
I was
hasn't shown up
planning on
to a
going every
Mania
year.
in forever.
What?
Mike hasn't shown up to a Mania since his first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. I really don't have any like breach. Like you've gone on like a bunch. Justin, obviously, you've gone on a couple. Like to me, like I just don't care that much anymore. Like I have like the only reason to go to WrestleMania, in my opinion, is to hang out with all the people that you don't normally get to hang out with. And
Yeah.
thanks to AEW, like they have filled that gap for me, and they've brought it to me. So the people that I want to hang out with while like it's not everybody, and there's still some people that I still like need to meet and hang out with for the first time. There's they're giving people another option versus WrestleMania. So where before I felt like I had to go to WrestleMania in order to hang out with everybody. Now, like I had the National Sports Card Convention, which happens like I feel like it's every other year in Chicago. So you have like that side of like YouTube that comes to this area. You've got like you guys who come to this area because of the AEW shows, and it's just turned into the thing. And like all the other people, like I always offer them, hey, like if you want to come for the weekend or whatever, by all means. So it's like I don't really need to go to WrestleMania anymore because I just don't care about WWE that much anymore.
Well,
So
I I think that it's just I don't know. Every year there's like a match I care about for WrestleMania, but it's like a match. And when we went
yeah,
to like 26, 27, 28, like I mean, besides for like the Randy Orton versus Kane match, like I loved every single match that was on that show. I knew what was going on. I knew why they were fighting. Now it's just like they put guys in the ring and they're like, just give us 10 minutes. Like just do
and
And then they'll bring up like a couple part timers back, like, oh, they're here for the season, and then they'll be gone.
well, yeah,
mm,
and the only thing I could think of where I was like I think 35 was the first time where I just enjoyed watching it at home. Like I didn't worry about wishing I was there. Like 35 was in New York, New Jersey, whatever. And like watching that show, like I had so much fun watching that show from the pre-show all the way until the Triple H and Batista match. And then after the Triple H Batista match, it kind of like went downhill for me from there. But it took up until like that was probably like 3 or 4 hours, maybe even 5 hours into the show, where I was just like having like a ton of fun watching that show. And I said like after that show, that's like one of my favorite manias of all time now because I just had like such a blast watching it on my couch, like in my apartment at school. And I didn't like there were certain matches like if I think about like 34, I wanted to see Nakamura and AJ Styles on the big, on the grand stage in WWE for like a long time. But that match didn't deliver at all. I mean, that match stunk for what I was expecting. You know what I mean? So, like, if I would have gone all the way to New Orleans, like obviously New Orleans is a different story, and I think New Orleans would be the only like exception. New Orleans and California are my two exceptions. Now, it's going to LA next year. Probably not at this point, but I just don't. I don't know. I just don't care that much about the WWE stuff to go there. And there's other reasons to go to LA, so I really don't need to like have an excuse to go to Los Angeles when I have so many other options. And I thought about it, and I know Justin, I told you this, where it's like I I want to go to Universal. I want to go to Disneyland. I want to go to all the Office filming locations, and that's a whole trip on itself. So why do I need to go, for WrestleMania when I really don't want to go to WrestleMania? So it's kind of like I feel like I have to. It's like, well, I'm in the same city. I'm not going to pull a Phil and I'm just going to watch it in the hotel room. I'm going to, like I feel like I have to go. Like if it was in Chicago, I feel like I would have to go.
I remember when I went to New York last year just for that New Japan show, and everyone was
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
WrestleMania. And I'm at Griff's house the next day sitting on his couch. I'm like, thank God I didn't spend $500 plus an extra night in a hotel to stay
Yep.
for this show. And Rabbi's like, oh my God, Triple H Batista. And then after the end of the match, is like, was it worth it? Are you mad you didn't go? And you're like, no.
I thought that Ravi was gonna go at like last minute just for that match. I thought he would pull the opposite, just go to Mania and go home. Because of how much he loves Batista. I was really surprised he didn't.
Breach of all the manias that you were at, which one would you say was your favorite mania show, and which one would you say was your favorite trip?
30. Shoot, man. The one I watched the most is 26.
That was your first one?
The one that I could tell you that held the same emotion throughout the whole show would be 31. That one like took off from the ladder match and like never went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was nothing. We were kind of looking around like when the hell's this match gonna end? But I don't think anything gets as big as 28's main event with Rock and Cena. I mean that you knew you were seeing something that you didn't think you'd ever see, like if that makes sense. Like you're like, man, we're lucky to be here.
So Justin, how many manias have you been to? I think it's like 4 or something.
30, 32, and 34.
3, okay.
32, I feel like is the forgotten trip. Like we were there, and
no one really was there.
Like we had fun for the first half, and then the second half kind of went down. Like I don't know what happened. Like Mania killed that trip. Mania the show and Mania getting into that whole process from the time we got off the bus to the time we got back to the hotel was chaos.
I mean, you know what they should do?
Like when we got off the bus and it took us 6 hours to get to our seat.
Yeah.
That's horrible. I can tell you that honestly, I think from watching my videos, the day I got in a bad mood that I never got out of my bad mood was the day I walked home from WrestleCon by myself. Is it WrestleCon? Yeah, WrestleCon's WrestleCon.
Yeah.
Oh, the day I walked home from WrestleCon and I got lost. I don't know why I was even walking by myself, but I walked like way the wrong way. And I just was so mad at myself. And I just I think that is when the downhill for me started. And I never was able to get out of that. It's nobody, I wasn't blaming anybody. I don't even know why I was walking by myself in the first place. But I just I was done. Like that was like, this is stupid. What am I doing?
I
I
mean,
feel
the
like the
thing,
peak of that trip was like Friday. Like we were hyped after that Shinsuke, Sami Zayn NXT show. Everything was
Huh?
great. And then Saturday, you guys left the hotel to go to, I can't remember where you guys went. And then we all met up at Con, and then everything started to go down after that.
Mm.
Like I met Taker, and that took like almost 3.5 hours to me and go and like wait for him in that line.
Mm-hmm.
And like Hall of Fame, we were just sitting there, and it was like okay. And then we went to Whataburger. Like I had fun like hanging out with everyone, but like going to Whataburger was like a waste of time. We could have done something else that night.
Oh yeah, big time. That was a
And then,
huge down. Everybody was like, "You gotta get this, gotta get this." Nope.
you know what they should do? They should just take WrestleMania and they should have it in California, New Orleans, Florida, and New York, New Jersey, and cycle it between those 4 places every 4 years. You know what I mean?
I think Mania is gonna be in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, good
Next
God.
year. It will. How about this? So, it's like I was wondering about this. Why WB didn't go to Saudi Arabia, and I think I asked that to somebody, and
Hmm.
they were like, "That's going to be a huge knock on them." But Tyson Fury's setting up a boxing match right now to go to fucking Saudi Arabia to fight a pay-per-view because I guess they're
Dude.
like, "You want to box? Come here and box." Tyson
I
Fury
mean,
in Saudi Arabia.
but that's also one person versus an entire company. Like, I mean, you know how big of a thing that would be if Vince was like, we're gonna go to Saudi Arabia to have WrestleMania. Like,
they already
forget
do it.
this.
They do it twice a year. I
I
mean,
know, but like, under these circumstances they wanted everybody to get on a plane and fly over to Saudi Arabia to do WrestleMania live with fans, like, you don't think that would be like a big issue? Like, hey, we're gonna escape this, this virus that's, like a global situation that everybody's going through, and we're gonna like pack up and we're gonna like bring everybody. You don't think people would like there'd be a lot of people who would like feel like, I feel like maybe like scared of like they would like lose their jobs, but then a lot of people would just be like forget this, what's the point, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't know what to do, like, you know what I mean?
I think Brett would get up in front of the. I'm sorry, Vince would get up in front of the locker room, and he'd say, "Brett screwed Brett," and then he'd say, "Oh, whoops, wrong speech," and then he'd say, "You want to make friends or you want to make money?" I think that's what he'd say.
um,
Well,
so I was gonna ask, what was the origin? Who did you first see to make YouTube videos?
Gemini.
So, like, what was? Do you remember? Like, oh, I'm gonna go on YouTube and search wrestling one day.
Um. Oh, okay. I watched gym videos, and then from watching gym videos, I saw WWE G86, who like him, Above Average Muda, and Gemini were kind of like in my minds, and I apologize if there's anybody else out there. They were like the DVD slash VHS guys. Like Jim had a lot of shit, but WWE G86, like Jim will tell you, this guy had fucking everything. There was no holes in his collection. He had every WWE VHS, every WWE DVD, every Ring of Honor DVD, every TNA DVD. I don't know if he had any other companies, but he had a lot of weird, like fucking Japan shit and shit like that. Like if there was a DVD, this dude bought it. I mean, I don't know what he did, but he had to be slinging some cash. Um, and he basically made a video on Christmas saying like, "Hey, what you get?" And I was in the living room, and my wife at the time was in the bathroom of the house. And I was like, I'm going to make a video response to this video. I just want this guy to know who I am. But I got really nervous. And you go back and watch the video, I don't even talk. I just like kind of wave at the camera, hold up the DVDs I got, and like give them a thumbs up. I think I might say Merry Christmas at the end, and that's it.
So,
And
like,
that was it.
I was gonna say, who, like, okay, did you just randomly find Gemini, or you're like, hey, I'm gonna look for people to talk that? Do people talk wrestling on YouTube?
I'll tell you the truth, man. I don't even I didn't even know what YouTube was till roughly dude, I don't even know what year that was. Maybe 2008, I'd say.
Yeah.
And who got me to start going to actual YouTube was my friend Delay Pat, me and him went to grade school together, and he made daily blog videos, and I would just go there to watch his videos. And somehow I must have typed something in there and been like, oh, shoot, there's wrestling videos. And I probably saw Jim stand in front of his tapes, clicked on that, and started watching his. And that led me to Muda's, and that led me to WWG 86's, and led you down the rabbit hole, I guess, as you could say.
Because, like, I remember, you remember that best of 2009, 2010 DVD?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was on YouTube, and I'm like, do people, like, I know people do movie reviews. Do people do, like, wrestling reviews? So I searched that DVD in, and that's how I found everybody. Like, I found Jem. I found, like...
Best 2000, is that, like, a best of the pay-per-views? Like, it's a black...
Yeah.
And then there's wrestlers in the letters. I that was a hard to find Blu-ray for a little bit. That was kind of a rarish one. You had to a little bit overpay to get it in your collection. I remember that.
Well, yeah, that's how I started. Like 2010, maybe like thinking May or June, something around. And then that was it. And I started watching a bunch of people. I started subscribing to everybody. And it was weird because like I was so like, why would I watch someone with such low subscribers? I had such a stigma with people with low views that I would start watching people with higher view counts, and then I slowly trickled down. I'm like, what am I judging people for?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
you make good videos. I mean, I remember when I started I made the one Merry Christmas video, and then from there to WrestleMania, WBG 86 said, let me see your WrestleMania collection. So I showed him the DVDs that I had to that point, and I probably had like 24, 25, 26 at the time or something like that. Talked about those for a minute. And that shoot. Well, I mean easily the way I really started making. Well, okay, here we go. I apologize. Okay, I won the contest for WrestleMania 26. And because I won the WrestleMania tickets, I didn't really know where Jim and I lived, but I knew he lived semi-close to me. And I will very much admit, I was a fanboy, and it is very creepy, but I did it. There's nothing I can do. This is the reason why me and Ravi are friends, me and Miguel are friends, me and Luke are friends. If I don't do this, they never know who I am. I knew who Miguel was at WrestleMania 26. I watched his videos then. I tweeted him because he said in his video, if you're going to be in Phoenix, tweet me and we can meet up. And like, I don't know if I wanted anything more than like a high five. I watched your videos and then walked the other way. But I tweeted him. Him and Luke sat one section to the right from me. That's how close we were. We were literally less than 100 yards apart for that WrestleMania. And then the next year we sat together. But, okay, I won that contest. They gave me 2 tickets. I only needed 1 ticket. I knew that Jim lived semi-close to me. He doesn't like when I say where he lives. But I messaged him. I messaged him again, and he never responded to me. So I knew that him and Miguel were friends. So I reached out to Miguel. I said, Miguel, I'm trying to talk to your friend Jim. I have an extra WrestleMania ticket. I'm willing to give it to him. I don't want anything in return. He said he wanted to go to WrestleMania. If he wants to go, I'll even volunteer to pick him up. Very creepy part of the end. Maybe if I didn't put that part in the end, it wouldn't have sealed the deal. But basically, Miguel reached out to Jim. Jim did not want to talk to me. Jim thought I was going to cut his head off and bury him in the desert. He was dealing with the Iceman at the time, so he probably thought I was the Iceman's henchman. Maybe I was the Iceman's clone, secret account, whatever it is. So he's like, no. So doesn't want anything to do with me. Right after WrestleMania, we come back. Jim and Miguel are on Skype, and somehow Miguel's making fun of Jim for not taking my free WrestleMania ticket, even though he said he wishes he would have been there. They're joking about me. So just Miguel sends me a direct message on YouTube and was like, "Do you have Skype?" And I'm like, "Yes." He's like, "Can you get on now?" And I said, "How?" And like I guess I had it, but didn't really know how to use it. So I got on there. I got brought into a call. It was me, Miguel, Jem, Matt Beast, Destin, WWG86, Ross, just a whole bunch of people. And Jim gets to talk to me. He understands that I'm a normal guy after a few minutes, really, feels bad about not taking the ticket, saying he wished he would have gone. He just thought I was going to bury him in the desert. And then I just stayed in the call. And for the people who don't understand, we talk about wrestling for 10 minutes, and then you talk about everything else in the world. Like, I can remember it got really weird in there. I don't want to throw Luke under the bus, but Luke and DJ86 were talking about porn, and like the call went till like 2 a.m, and then Miguel's like texting, like, well, no, because he didn't have my number, but he's sending me messages once it's done, like, really, like, it's not like this every night. I apologize. Like, if you want to come back tomorrow, we kind of do this every day. And I'm like, oh shit! Like, they're like, this is pretty cool. And from getting in with them, like Miguel would just encourage me, like, dude, if you want people to watch your videos, you have to make videos. Like just start, just try, and just get there. And that's what I made a video like the next day. Top 5 WWE DVD bonus features. Some stupid shit like that.
Classic top 5s.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know why people like. I remember every time I showed my collection, every question: "What's your top 5 favorite DVDs? What's like the top 5 of your pay-per-views of like that you enjoy watching?" I'm like, why does everyone ask the same question every single time I post this?
They want a response.
You realize what that what you asking Gemini. Okay, well, you realize what you winning the WrestleMania tickets, asking, trying to get Gemini the ticket, going through Miguel to get the ticket, Miguel telling you to get on Skype. Like, you realize what that has like turned in. Like, if that doesn't happen,
like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Because has caused in people like multiple people's lives, including myself.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, like, hundreds of people's lives are different because of that one little moment right there.
That's why I'm over.
Like, I couldn't even imagine what, what would have like happened if it wasn't for that little moment right there.
I was watching that video, and like, there's so many jokes, like little jokes in there that I was like, oh my god, I forgot about all these jokes. Like, Christian pulls up a flyer, is like, oh, Luke's girlfriend is like, Breech is like, Luke wouldn't even know what to do with that girl. And I just popped.
I always like the when they're in the car in Miami and Breech is like, if you're gonna cut us off, at least go.
Oh man, I've yelled at so many times.
I use that all the time. Yeah.
Miguel, we gotta go.
Oh, and El Generico, he's paying the meter. He's a normal guy.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I don't know, but I mean, like, I like, Mike gets it. I don't think Ravi gets it at all. But like, Mike said the one thing that was cool about when I go to WrestleMania is I make sure that people know kind of what we're doing when we do it.
Yeah.
Because what my goal for making those videos was, I knew there was going to be a day when I didn't go to WrestleMania, and I wanted to pass the torch to, like, there's a kid that makes videos on YouTube named Wyatt now. There was that one kid, Brandon. I don't know if he makes videos anymore. Like, the people that took over after I left, I wanted them. Mike went to 31, but I mean, I wanted people to see, like, it's not $1 million like you think it is. Like, and then I wanted you to see, like, how much fun we have, and you don't, like, you got to do this now, or you're going to get to a point in your life you're going to wish you did. That's what I was hoping for.
Like it makes sense. And also at the time, you guys were the only people doing WrestleMania vlogs. You throw that up now, like you can find a ton from 35, 34, 33. Like it's just flooded on YouTube.
Damn right, I'm over.
Yeah, just because people like more people now see YouTube as an outlet, where before when we were like doing this stuff, like everyone looked down upon it and like, oh, like yeah, like I've watched like a couple, music videos on there, but like why would you make stuff for it? You know what I mean? And now it's like, completely different. It's like insane.
How about Michael Scott when he's doing the roast? He's like, I gotta call YouTube and make sure they get there.
Yeah, I mean that's like, that's not too far off from what people thought. Like, oh, like YouTube is just like a company that uploads funny videos. Like that's,
It's
that's it.
funny how what was I gonna say? It's funny how Breach, you would just pull out your camera and you're like, yeah, just if you're gonna vlog, make sure you just vlog. Don't worry about people around you. And like it was so weird. And now you do it and like no one blinks an eye because of Snapchat, Instagram. Everyone's recording TikTok. Everybody's recording.
Everybody is recording everything.
Like it doesn't even like no one blinks if someone picks up a phone and starts talking to it. But like 10 years ago, you get that flip cam and you start recording. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, even as of like 4 or 5 years ago when I was like started school, it was like I would walk around and I would get the stares and the looks and like why are you bringing a camera around? And then like at the end of it, it just changed.
Remember your like when you first went to Kansas, like your like weekly vlogs, like those were the best, Mike.
They're terrible. But yeah, like it's like when I watch back those, it's like I was trying too hard to be something that I wasn't, but I'm glad that I have that footage. You know what I mean?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Like I didn't like the way that I set it up because I was obviously copying other people, but I'm glad that I recorded those, like capture those moments in time because now when I look back on it and I get all sentimental, like every so often, I can go back to that footage and like I did a project my freshman year, like my first semester freshman year, for finals week, and like we had to like build this like inflatable like room and. Yeah, I was looking for the footage yesterday because I knew I uploaded the video to YouTube, but I deleted it since then for some reason. But I went through countless hard drives just to make sure I could find this footage, and I found it. And it's just like funny to look back. And then we went to like Chipotle afterward, and like we were joking, like, oh, we're gonna take our group picture, like with our burritos at Chipotle. And then we got to Chipotle, and I was like, all right, everybody get your burritos up. And I took the picture, and we used that for like the group picture because we needed a group picture in our project, and that was like, like that was our group picture with us holding up our burritos. So it's like, like yeah, like back then, like explaining it to people, it's like, oh yeah, uh-huh, oh, great, but not, like at the end of it, like senior year, it was like everyone was about that life, you know what I mean?
There you
Whether
go.
it be like Instagram, Twitter, like whatever, like that was like now, like when I was in school, I used to like search up like University of Kansas or like Lawrence, Kansas, whatever, just to see if anyone like had vlogs, and there was really like none at all. There's like a couple at the time. Now you search it, there's like a ton of people daily vlogging, like our students at the school, and I'm like, where were you like 4 years ago? Like, it's crazy.
Don't you think that there's people at your high school doing it now? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think they're walking around. I don't think they're walking around high school like every day. But there's definitely people that like on like special days and whatnot. Like I haven't like looked up in a while. I haven't looked it up in a while. But I mean, I still like one of my still like it's not my top viewed video, but it's one of the videos that I still get like constant comments and interactions on is that stupid Minecraft field, like
yeah,
that stupid football field in Minecraft. Like I still get comments to this day. That video's like I don't know 6 or 7 years old, and people still comment on it like it's brand new, and it's just I mean it's just crazy to think about.
I was gonna say, Breach. I feel like your Mania videos were impactful too because when you uploaded it, it felt like you were there with you guys, like every day, and like even like I would watch like literally I'd be like every couple hours like if Breach put a video, the Breach put a video, you'd like have those you would have your flip videos and then you have your BlackBerry
Oh
crack.
yeah, yeah. You
Figure
upload
videos.
like on the fly, like yeah. Those were cool. They could only be a minute. Like I don't know. Like I remember my tech guy Mike, who I keep on retainer, were all my questions. Like I remember the day that like iPhone made it where you couldn't upload directly to YouTube anymore. They like took the button away.
Hmm.
And I was like, that is the dumbest thing in my life. Now I have to take my phone, airdrop it to my computer, and now I can download it or upload it, I guess you can say, off of my. I don't know.
Well,
It takes a lot
here's
of fun out of it.
here's the thing with that. People forget that the the first I don't know like 4 or 5 years of iPhone and iPod touches and stuff. The one of the stock apps was a YouTube app.
And you
Like
can delete it. It looked like a television screen.
yeah, and like that's the thing. And then when Google and when Apple kind of like became enemies with each other, it was like, well, now you have to we're going to take this off and we're going to you have to download that app separately if you want it. Before it was just like an app that everybody had to have, so people would wander into it. You know what I mean? So it's like that's another thing that people like don't realize.
Mm.
Oh, one more thing. So, 27, you retire. Why did you go back to 28 when you vowed never to go back
Because I
to
could.
Maine?
I was quitting because I didn't think I was quitting because I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it. Like I just was trying to save face, I guess you can say. And then in between 27 and 28 is when the YouTube checks started coming. They weren't as big. They were like 100 and the first one I ever got was $170. And I was like, all right, if I get 5 of these, that like kind of sets me up to go. And then I remember my wife wanted to put a wall up in the house, and she asked me, and she was like, "Hey, I want to put this wall up in the house." And I was thinking it was the stupidest idea of all time, but I was like, if that's what you want to do, it's what you're gonna do. And I remember like it was like, yeah, it's cool with me. And then like I waited like 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm gonna use this. I say, hey, if you put that wall up, can I go to WrestleMania? And she's like, done. Like, let's go. Make the call.
Yeah.
And then, like, did we buy the package? Yeah, we did buy the package.
Yeah, you're on the floor.
I think I skate, like, if the package went on sale in, like, it went on sale the day after Money in the Bank 2011, if I remember right. So, like, Mike, that's, like, June?
That was July
Yeah,
17th, 2011.
Yeah, so I must have told Miguel and them, like, right around 4th of July, I want it in. And they like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, game. I told her that it cost $800 for the whole trip. I don't know how the heck that worked, but
You didn't add in WrestleCon or your flight or anything?
no, just straight up like this is all I need, $800.
Damn.
Jeez.
And
Well,
literally know the YouTube checks will start growing bigger a couple months after that.
I saw that one guy pop for the making $1,800 in a day. Like that, they love it every time I tell that story. It's I know that guy. His name starts with an A. I saw him in the comments, and I listened.
Manuel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That was a good night. It still brings me back to the table.
they're going to talk about that day in the history books years from now. They'll be like,
Oh, yeah.
remember that day Breach had $1,800 in one night?
Reigns in the Rock.
What a time. You're gonna meet Roman Reigns or The Rock one day, and you're gonna thank him. Like,
Get a lot of money off of your ass.
but yeah, I think that's it.
There we go.
I just gotta let you guys know I got a pizza review up on the channel right now. Little Caesars, the pepperoni cheeser. It's a waste of time. You're gonna like the video because I kind of trash the pizza and say it's a waste. There's like
There we go.
the pizza is all crust, a little bit of cheese. Might as well call it like
What would
kind
you
of
compare it to? Like,
more. How about this? How about this? When I go to Little Caesars, I get the cheese sticks to go along with the pizza.
mhm.
There's more cheese on my cheese sticks than there is on the fucking pizza. You get it?
So you wouldn't recommend it? Like if I went to
Oh,
Lowe's,
it's
how much
just
did it cost?
$7 or $8, something like that. Maybe it was $7.99. But
Yeah.
Compared to anything you had before?
it's the fucking same thing as a regular cheese pizza. I'm sorry, pepperoni pizza. Like it's the same thing, just all crust.
Gotcha. So it's just like the crust is different. It's like the crust is different, but
You're paying,
everything else is the
the
same.
cheese is different, but it's not the cheese from the commercial. They're not slicing fresh mozzarella on here. It might be fresh mozzarella, but it's definitely shredded. Then they're putting it on behind the scenes. I'm onto them.
And there you go. You don't have to watch the video because Breach just explained it in this video. So that's going to be it. And we'll see you after a while.
Yeah.
What?